Pedagogical content knowledge is probably a new term for most of you, so let's just break it apart to see exactly what it's talking about. Pedagogy is the function or work of a teacher or the art or science of teaching. Pedagogy is really the teacher moves. Things like chunking, a lot of the stuff we've discussed in this class really have to do with pedagogy, which is really just the mechanisms of teaching and how you deliver content to students. Content, of course, is pretty straightforward. It's what you know. It's what you're majoring in right now. You're becoming experts in your content. In the state of Colorado, to become a teacher at the secondary level, you major in your content area, math, science, or engineering for us, and then you get you have a short certification program, which is what the U-Teach program is we're just a teacher licensure certification program where you take a few classes and you learn the pedagogy or the how-to of teaching. So it's really two completely separate things. Pedagogical content knowledge combines the two. This is a quote from Dr. Lee Shulman, who you don't know, and that doesn't really matter if you know him or not. Just wanted to credit him for this quote here. Pedagogical content knowledge is the content knowledge that deals with the teaching process, including the ways of representing and formulating the subject that make it comprehensible to others. To simplify this a little more, I'm just going to put it in my own terms. Really, it's the best way to teach your content. Pedagogical content knowledge is the recognition that things are different. And U-Teach specifically breaks apart maths and sciences or the STEM fields from everything else and really says that because the content of these subjects is so different that we probably should teach it differently. It's way different than English or the other languages, so there are probably different moves the teachers use or different approaches. This is where the 5E lesson plan comes from. Some company decided that the 5E lesson plan was the best approach to teaching STEM lessons. Agree or disagree, that's where it comes from, and that's the point of it. This program is designed around pedagogical content knowledge. U-Teach, again, recognized that the STEM fields probably needed to be taught a little bit differently. I would argue that there are at least subtle differences even between maths and the sciences, the two that we've combined here. And I think through the presentations in this class, you've seen some of my thoughts on the subtle differences of those. But really, it's about that. What's the best way to teach the thing that you're going to teach? And I want to make sure we keep a focus on, as you're thinking through this, because you're going to have to do an issue reflection response to what you think is better or what you think is more important, knowledge of your content or knowledge of how to teach your content. I want you to maintain the focus on getting knowledge out, not putting knowledge in. One of the reasons I don't really like the term pedagogy, and one of the reasons I think is because as a teacher, different pedagogical practices get shoved down your throat, and the focus is all on content presentation and how to get knowledge in. When really, we've just finished our assessment module, and hopefully we're aware now, or hyper aware now, the focus should be on how to get knowledge out, not just how to put knowledge in. So as we develop our lessons, we're designing lessons with that in mind, that how do we make sure this sticks so that when I ask students to reproduce material, it's going to come back out, and that'll change the way you teach. So make sure you maintain a focus on how to get knowledge out, not just get knowledge in. Like I said, we're going to do an issue reflection on this, or maybe I didn't say that, but I'm saying it now. The assignment really for this little presentation piece is going to be issue reflection 6. In an issue reflection 6, I've turned it into a discussion, so it won't be a typical you write a paper, submit it. There's a discussion board up now that's called issue reflection 6. And you're going to answer the question, what is more important for effective classroom teaching? Content expertise or pedagogical knowledge? And I know that you don't have a lot of experience teaching yet, but you probably have some opinion or strong feeling one way or another, and that's what I want you to talk about. There's no right or wrong answer in this reflection as usual. And I think that I put on here, do not contact a teacher. In the original issue reflection, I asked you to contact a teacher and ask them to respond, because after you've been teaching a while, you will definitely have an opinion on which one has impacted your ability to teach more and most teachers would have a response for you. I'm not going to require you to contact a teacher because with all teachers having to shift to online learning right now, they're very busy and I think overwhelmed. If you have a teacher who's a good friend and you know you won't annoy them with the question, go ahead and ask them because it'll be interesting to hear their response. But to save them, I'm removing that requirement, and all you have to do is just answer the question yourself. So, why is content expertise important? Why is the knowledge of how to teach important? Which is more important? This is really what your focus is for issue reflection 6, really hinging more on at this point in with the limited experience you've had with teaching, which do you think is going to be the most important to your success and specifically to the student learning in your classroom as you move forward? So issue reflection 6 should be right in the module strand. Just click on it, go to the discussion board, enter your response, and then I think I've asked you to respond to a couple of other people who might share your opinion.